Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here, welcome back to the channel for a quick update on Binance BNB. So I want to talk about two bear market price targets that I do have, but first of all, let's come over to the daily time frame. It does look like a potential 10% drop could be coming in. So if we once again start over on the daily time frame, you can see that the daily EMA ribbons have flipped bearish, and we're currently sitting right on this orange box. Now, just quickly coming over to the weekly, you can see this is your double 618 Fibonacci, which starts losing support at $266. If we zoom out further, you can see swing low up to swing high, swing low up to swing high from the bear market lows and also the March 2020 capitulation. So this 618 Fibonacci is extremely important. The next Fibonacci macro fib from to the downside from there is $150, but that is personally not my price target. So let me just show you what's happening on the daily. Of course, daily EMA ribbons we have been rejected from. We are now trading beneath the bull market support bands, and if we do look at what's happening right now, you can see that we have quite recently formed a big M pattern which we've started to break to the downside of. Now, what's interesting about this is if we take the price breakdown, I've fat fingered this a tiny bit, but you can see this is going to be taking us down to about $235, which from where we are right now is about another 12.7% drop to the downside. However, you could start finding support around about $240, $238 or so, because if we now once again come back over to the weekly time frame, if we do lose this 618 Fibonacci that we're literally sitting on right now, then of course we do have this upwards trending line of support which has been in play since all the way back down here, the 13th of June 2022. We back tested this, pushed up, back tested this, pushed up, and now it looks like we're coming right back down to this level at this moment in time. Now, of course, we're looking at the weekly time frame, so if we look at the weekly oscillators are also in agreement with this move back down, about another 10 or 12%. The stochastic RSI on average is sitting around about 54 for the two moving averages, with lots of room to move back down to the downside. The MFI sitting right on the heart line right now. Actually, it's slightly broken beneath this, but more or less, we are just sitting on that heart line at neutral. So if we do move into bearish territory, we do have lots of room to move to the downside. And also the squeeze momentum indicator. Now, this has been relatively flat because Binance has been holding up pretty well relative to other cryptocurrencies, and you can really see that if you do zoom out. Binance has been holding up very, very nicely this bear market. However, of course, we've got a lot of FUD going around in the Binance ecosystem. Some of it warranted, some of it not warranted, in my opinion. My opinion doesn't really matter. What matters is that the SEC is kind of cracking down on Binance right now. We know that they've been accusing Binance of operating an unregistered securities exchange. We've got a lot of bad news coming out for Binance right now. A lot of FUD coming out for the ecosystem. Nonetheless, the oscillators are telling us that we've got a lot of room to move down. Squeeze momentum indicator as well is just ticking into light red, and we haven't really for a very long time had a sizable move back down to the downside for Binance. But here's where things get interesting. If we clear up this chart and head over to the weekly EMA ribbons, you can see we had our bull market top up here at $690 or so. We then proceeded to break back down into the EMA ribbons. The next top we had above the EMA ribbons was here at $670. And then you can see we broke back down. The next top we had above the EMA ribbons was here at $460. Then we broke back down into new bear market lows. Then you can see we broke back up, pushed above the EMA ribbons again, made a new macro lower high at $398. Then we broke back down, found an uptrending line of support. And then you can see it once again, we quite recently, in the past month or so, reverted to about 340. So every time we push up to these EMA ribbons, we end up getting pushed back further to the downside. And this trend line is, of course, what I've been talking about, telling you this is where I think we're coming down to in the immediate short term. So that is more or less what I wanted to show you. Of course, in the lower time frames, my price target is $235. Now, I do believe whether Binance holds this level or not is almost entirely news driven at this moment in time. Binance US specifically is the largest exchange. It has the largest amount of liquidity. I do believe it's the safest exchange, at least in my opinion. With that being said, I do believe some of the FUD is warranted. For example, but if you do look at what Binance have listed, they've clearly got listed a bunch of unregistered securities. That is just the fact of the matter. But there's also a lot of FUD around Binance, which I do believe is not warranted. But nonetheless, whether we break up or down does not depend on my opinion. It depends on what is happening with the news. And if the SEC starts winning cases against Binance and extremely, cracking down on them very, very hard, then we may see this support level lose. And this is where things get very, very shaky. You can see we've literally got no volume traded underneath these lows until we come all the way back down here. We basically went up in a straight line. It's not like if we break down here that we're just going to stop and reverse. There's no support floors here. There's really no support. I mean, there's a tiny bit at these levels. If we come back over to the volume profiles, you can see in the immediate short term, I've actually drawn this POC on, but we do have a lower time frame POC down here at $131. That is my next bear market price target that I would keep my eyes on for Binance. Of course, you can look at the 786 Fibonacci, but it doesn't really, although I do think we're going to come down to it and probably respect it. It's not like we've got a lot going on at this range, so I find it more likely that we're going to head down to $131 in this bear market. Once again, this is entirely news driven. I do think the SEC is going to continue cracking down on Binance, and if they do, I will keep you up to date. Now, I think it's more important to react instead of predict at this moment in time. So what I will be predicting is that Binance is moving down to $233. If we do lose this level, like I said, the next price target is 149. The next price target is 130. And if the SEC really does start cracking down on Binance, the most amount of volume traded in this market is all the way down here at around about $41, previous highs at $40. I'm not necessarily saying that we are coming right down to these levels. Once again, this is entirely news driven. Now, I will keep you up to date on the news. I will keep you up to date whether I think we are coming down to these prices. Just wanted to give you a quick warning that if we do start losing this green box right here at $185, there is absolutely no data. There's no trends holding us up above this point. So let's take it one price target at a time. I think we're coming down to $235. I will, at that moment in time, if this video does well, if people want me to keep on updating Binance, I will let you know whether I think we're bouncing or, depending on the news, whether I think we'll be breaking down to our first price target around about 130. So for today, my friends, that's all I've got. If you do enjoy my content, let me know down below by leaving a like and a comment. Share the videos with your friends. And if you want more of my posts, charts, memes, and economic data, feel free to come and follow me over on Twitter at 618_cowboy. But for today, that's all I've got. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.